Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is an Overreaction Monday right here on YSN Live. DJ Yoakley alongside the 8-time bestseller, author, of course, the world traveler. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as of last night, Emmy Award winning Mr. Anthony Ronald Hartwig.
I wasn't there for the acceptance speech, but
nobody was, as a matter of fact.
nobody was.
Nobody watches that stuff anymore. So, hey, congratulations on your big win last night. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It wasn't for this show, and it wasn't for anything on YSN, but you're part of a bigger kind of win last night. We're very proud of you. So, just continue to add to that resume, man. That's why we love you. That's why we love you. In all seriousness, not that you winning an Emmy Award isn't serious, because that's serious business. However, buddy, it's an Overreaction Monday, and we got a lot to overreact about, because what a magical weekend it was, not only in high school football, but across the high school sports realm.
There's that word.
There's that word again. It was so fun to watch. And also, by the way, we had some EOYFL on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
That dominated the airwaves. So a lot to overreact about. But what was your number one thing that you did this weekend, Anthony? I want to hear some good news. Come on.
Let's see. Number one thing I did, I had a really good volleyball game Saturday, which I always like, because if you're gonna get up and after the night of content and do some volleyball on Saturday, you want to have a show get put on for you. And even though it was a 3-set sweep by Columbiana, every set was close against Jackson Milton, 25-21, 29-27, 25-20. So every set was like right there. Columbiana just made some plays down the stretch. I'll tell you what, this sophomore for Columbiana, Addison Dangler, she's something else. She's the real deal for the Clippers. I know a lot of people looked at last year's senior class for their volleyball team and said, well, they got a lot of shoes to fill, and they definitely did. But this team is still undefeated, and they're stepping into those roles really well. There's a lot of new faces on this team. Still looking pretty good in Clipper country on the volleyball team.
Volleyball season is, it's week 5 of football here, right? And volleyball is halfway done now too?
Yeah, some teams are at, like, Columbiana just played their 10th game. Some teams are a little bit faster, but I would say this is a good halfway point. This is a good halfway. There's a lot of teams that will have a good volume of games in the next coming weeks. So the teams that are behind the 11th spot right now, they're going to catch up. I think Columbiana has a couple of weeks where they play 4 games in the week. So they're going to be done, I think, October. The second week of October is the final week of the regular season. So they'll be done before football as far as regular season. Their playoffs will
start a week before football, right?
Yeah. Their tournaments will be, I think, out of districts. If my timeline's right, they'll be out of districts by week 10.
Wow.
Because that next weekend would be that next week would be regionals.
We'll be queening district champions as we are
Yes.
finishing the football season.
And we'll also have our All-Star game not too long after the regular season of football is over as well.
And we are
So-
trying to get the All-Stars a little bit earlier announced this
Yeah.
year. We're trying. We are trying. Fingers crossed. Trying to push that across the finish line. But that's the goal. I mean, it'll be in Salem again this year. They were unbelievable hosts, great hospitality, and quite honestly, they gave us the gym for free and said, "Hey, be here as long as you'd like."
That's being a
so
great
that-
host. There you go.
Thank you very much to the Salem Booster Club. They Tony's a great dude and loves what we do, and just to be able to do that, I think that's one of the things that we like. Now, we're in no way like WrestleMania or the NFL with the Super Bowl that we can just be like, hey, we're going to take this thing on the road and you accommodate to us. We would love that. But hey, Salem's first one says, you come on in, no rent charge. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we are bringing a lot of customers into that, so it's big. So I'm excited for the that volleyball All-Star game. Always am. It was the last one that we brought on, but it's one of my favorites, certainly. So
Yeah. And we've had a lot of fun with it. We've had it at a couple different spots. Crestview started it, then we had to Westminster, now Salem. So it's a fun night to be at. I don't know. Do we have the date knocked down? It's close. We're close to a date. I know that.
no, you're the one that picked the date.
Yeah. I didn't know
told
if it was finalized. I told Sigler like this is the date we can aim for, but I never got like a yes, that date is confirmed. So I didn't want to spill it if it wasn't confirmed.
You're the grandmaster flex of this, man.
I didn't want to put the cart before the horse there.
Oh, Derpy says, I'm ready for overreaction Monday. Well, you know what that means. If Derpy wants it, Derpy gets it. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we bring in the Grand Maestro of Overreaction Monday, a gentleman who continues to be the voice of Friday nights right here on YSN. If only he could push in the button that allows his voice to be heard for anything but 3.5 quarters. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest writer on the face of the planet, and also one of my dear friends, Greg McAfee.
What up? You just had to bring up the mistake. You just had to do it. You had to do it. I mean, I deserve it. I will admit that, but you just had to do it.
Hey, that's the best way to lead you out, right? A little bit of humility goes a long way. Greg, obviously, you had an absolute showdown on Derp's giving you some love too. Greg. You had an absolute showdown on Friday nights. This is an Overreaction Monday. So can we start with your game and what you're overreacting to, Liberty or Crestview?
So the one thing I took away from that game was this. Like, obviously both teams are very, very good. But I think I think it came down more to how both teams approach this game than the talent that is on the field. We've talked about Jake Nolan all year long. We've talked about DeJuan Moody and Dion Tutwiler all year long. We've talked about the Liberty defense all year long. What I took away the most was how the coaching aspect came into this. It was crazy to think, because throughout the first half, the Rebels are just handing the ball off to Mikey Proctor left and right. I mean, the guy finished with 128 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown. He absolutely dominated the first half of the game, and he got some carries late in the second half as well. But what they did in the first half, what the Crestview did in the first half, really set up what they were able to do in the second half, because you didn't see Jake Nolan start really throwing the ball until late in the second half when they had to kind of mount a comeback. And so it might have been a little bit of the situation, but you really saw the passing game open up for the Rebels late in the game. I mean, he only finished with 14 pass attempts and 120 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns in the last, I think, 4 or 5 minutes of the game. He started using his legs on the option runs all over. So, like, what I took away the most, I guess my overreaction was just how much coaching came into this win. And, in games like that where, everything is on the line, a conference win is on the line between 2 of the best teams in the conference. And I would say in this matter, as we're talking here today, there's probably 3 teams that can compete for that conference title in the MVAC in the gray tier, I believe is what they're both at, with all 3 of them are in. That win matters. And the way they approached it and how they game planned it, I think was huge.
When you say the 14 pass attempts, I want to say like in the first half, maybe 2, right? So when you say they turned it on in the second half, they really started to use that passing game in the second half, setting up that play action with the dominance of the run game in the first half. I think that's tremendous play calling, and obviously it doesn't happen if they don't control the line of scrimmage in the first half. But then you go down this line and you say the way Crestview also won this game. How about the discipline from Crestview? I don't think they had very many penalties. They didn't make a lot of mental mistakes. That's something that it can be consistent throughout the season. That's something that you can say, okay, even if something isn't working, we're going to be a consistently disciplined football team. What do you see from that end?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a tale of two teams, to be honest with you. I mean, I think in the first half, Liberty had 70 penalty yards or something like that. And like even to start their first offensive drive, I'm still to this day not sure exactly what happens, but Deon Tutwiler returned a punt to Crestview's like 20-yard line to start Liberty's first offensive drive, and the play got called back, and somehow Crestview got the ball. I still don't know what happened to this day. I was like kind of in shock of what was going on when we were standing next to Logan, but they were disciplined all night long. There's a couple penalties thrown in there that kind of negated them in a little bit, but it was like a tale of two teams. I mean, Liberty was penalized for most of the game. They racked them up throughout the game. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me, but you know, when you play a disciplined football game like that in a game of that magnitude, it says a lot about how they're coached and how they're prepared to have success over the course of the season.
We go from 1-3.
I like this shot. I like this shot the most. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Me too. The problem is when we clip it, you look like Zordon from the Power Rangers.
That is very true. That is very true. All right.
Hello, Power Rangers. Get with Alpha to get your next assignment and beat up a bunch of putties. That's OG Power Ranger stuff, just so you know. That's Love it. Fox 53 Power Ranger stuff. All right, we go from 1-3-0 versus 3-0 to another 3-0 versus 3-0. When you think of Poland and Canfield, the Battle of 224, Greg, you and I talked about it at length on Thursday night, there in Canfield. Boy, Canfield had their own struggles in that first half, but they come out, they get a huge win when they just knock Poland off the block at their place, at the dog pound. Is this a wrench in the season for Poland, or is Canfield that good to be throwing their weight around in the second half like they did?
So I will say this, and this might contribute to the overreaction Monday. I think Canfield is going to be one of the best teams in the area moving forward. I really do. After what they were able to do on Friday, just going through watching the film and how they were able to control the line of scrimmage, how they were able to contain David Zipolita. You know, we learned that on Thursday. And the one thing that really sold me on, like, leading into the game, because, you know, when Canfield had Barack Lowry in that senior class, and when they went to the state championship a couple years ago, headed by Mike Pavlansky, the one thing that really stuck out to me about that Canfield team was just the culture they had. I mean, I don't think obviously they had the best quarterback in the area, the best player in the area, but the culture and the approach and the standard that they had on that team really contributed to that state championship run. And we were talking to Enzo Coca on Thursday, and he basically reiterated that fact about this Canfield team. You know, they might not be a team that is stacked with a bunch of Greek gods like Landon, but they have this culture in place that they have to live up to a standard. And I think that can carry a team a long way when you don't have a ton of talent. I think they still have talent spread around the field, but when you do that, it rises up in big games like they had on Friday against a team like Poland that, you know, in their own matter of fact is loaded with talent, and they have guys all over the place, but it just raises a team standard, and it shows up in big games like that. I think Canfield's going to be one of the better teams in the area just based off of that fact. And when you show up in games like they did on Friday night, it sets a whole new standard and a whole new expectation for a program like that.
Landon Shina is just properly jocked. I mean,
I didn't want to say his last name because I couldn't remember how to pronounce it, but man, Shina. But yeah, I mean, it's you just have guys like that step up. I mean, Enzo Coca had a huge game on the ground and through the air, and Canfield showed a lot on Friday. And I think this could be, you know, they've already had a good start to the season, but I think this propels them even more moving forward. And I will say, I texted DJ yesterday, and I was looking at the schedule for the rest of the year, like late Saturday night, because I couldn't really sleep. And I was like, I'm going to do some stuff here and there, just looking at the schedule of what we have coming up. Canfield, Louisville, couple weeks.
We're gonna be there on that Thursday.
That could be an interesting one. That's all I'm gonna say.
You might have busted Rob Johnson out of his slumber. Louisville, you say?
Yeah, Louisville's undefeated. Leopards are undefeated. They had a big win this weekend.
That's gonna be a dogfight.
It's gonna be fun.
Greg, since it's Overreaction Monday, I'll ask you to take that one step further, right? If I said Canfield will go the deepest in the playoffs this year, is that an overreaction to you in this early in the season, or do you think that is a legitimate statement?
I think we have a lot of good teams in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. As far as them going the furthest, I think we have a couple teams in the area that are set up to make pretty deep runs this year. After just through the 4 weeks, this is what I love about high school football. Going into each season, you don't really you can do your research, you can see what they had last year and how it might translate to this year, but you don't really know until the games are starting to be played. You don't really know until the teams take the field, they lace up the cleats, they put the pads on, strap the helmets, and hit some guys. You don't really know. And I think as we've gone on over the first 4 weeks, we've started to see what each team around the area has. And I think there's about, I would say in my eyes, maybe 4 or 5 teams in the area that I would say have a chance to make a decent run in the playoffs this year. I think Canfield's one of them. As far as who goes the deepest, not sure yet. We'll see.
It's an interesting.
I like to tease a little bit.
You do. you love that tease. A little tease button.
Learned it from Torres.
The best in the business. The best in the business. What I will say, and we haven't talked a lot about this particular subject for a number of reasons, but we do have to draw attention to the fact that Ursuline no longer playoff eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Their season is over. So who benefits the most from them not being in the playoffs in D3?
I mean, I think there's a lot of teams in the area. I'd kind of have to look at the breakdown, because I mean they were one of the better teams in the area kind of coming into this year. They were one of the teams that we think hey, that's a team you got to watch kind of as the playoffs approach and everything like that. So I'd have to take a look at who kind of benefits the most. But with some of these teams kind of dropping off I don't know if they're going to fill their schedules with that Ursuline matchup that they're missing out on, like Fitch, like Mooney, like Harding, like those type of teams. Cheney is another one. So it could be a situation where those teams look to fill their schedules with matchups that could improve their playoff picture and the points they're able to gather, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting question, DJ. It's something I'd have to kind of look into a little bit more. Maybe for next
side question right there.
Maybe for next Overreaction Monday. I've been a little bit busy this morning, so I haven't got a chance to do the.
It's on me. Hey, you hit me with that tease. I'm hitting back with blindside.
Another game I want to talk about. It wasn't unfortunately on YSN because it was on the road, but Boardman goes and beats undefeated Maple Heights. It's pretty like by 2 scores. It wasn't even like one of those games that they had to squeak out. Greg, is Boardman back? Is Boardman officially back?
I said it during our pick'ems on Thursday. They pick up that big triple overtime win over Cheney the week before last, and they come back and they get another big win, 36-20 over Maple Heights. I mean, they have the pieces in place. I mean, they have good running backs all over the place. And they have a solid senior quarterback, Vince Butto, leading the way. And DJ Dota's always, when he has the talent in place, he's always going to have his teams ready to go. He'll have his teams ready to go whether he has the talent in place or not. But a win over a Maple Heights program like that, after a win they had last week, it says a lot about the how they're kind of building up and how, I mean, they were in that week 1 matchup against Twinsburg. I mean, I came on here and talked about it. They were up, I think 15, 16 points and, ended up giving it up late, but that's a team that's a motivating factor for them. And I think they're able to build off of, these last 2 wins. I think, they're in a good position moving forward.
The one I really want to talk to you about, couldn't wait to get to this one, your buddies over in Beaver, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
A 51-50 victory over Hopewell after someone picked against them on zone coverage. Greg?
You know, I
Would you
will
like-
say I picked them against Amani Christian. I will say that. You know, and
You were in the Beaver Dome.
They ended up losing, did they not? I will say, that's an impressive win. 51-50 over Hopewell. DJ doesn't like what I just said. It's an impressive win for the Bobcats. I mean, Hopewell is a team that has been down in recent years, and they come into this season with a very talented quarterback who already has a scholarship offer from Pitt, and like the stage is set, and they won in a shootout. I mean, 51-50. I mean, this Beaver team, they're one of those, you know, Western Pennsylvania WPIAL teams. We're going to line up across the line of scrimmage from you, and we're going to bang heads. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they banged a lot of heads on Friday, and they came out victorious by a point. It's a big win. I will send my apologies to the Bobcats this week. Prove me wrong. We're wrong sometimes, right? We're wrong
all the time.
Greg McAfee.
That's why we have a disclaimer.
Greg McAfee can be emailed at.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter. I'm findable on Twitter.
Yeah, Greg,
Google me.
If you look at the scoring summary in that game too, I mean, talk about just bonkers. I think Beaver's game-winning touchdown was a pick six, or maybe the one that tied to 44. But they had a pick six late. It was just one of those wild, you don't know what's going to happen kind of games. Mm-hmm. And I think Hopewell scored a win for two, like Cheney did in triple overtime last week. And Beaver got that stop to make sure that they secured that 51-50 victory. As we go to more teams we talk about, and I think we're talking about them every week just because how impressive they look. Gerard, AJ Pearson. Is there any more he could do to surprise you at this point? Like, is there?
Look at that smile.
You said it. You said it in the tweet. What can AJ Pearson do? Here's my question for you, Greg. What's left on the board? What could AJ Pearson do at this point to surprise you?
Well, I will say this again. I texted DJ on Sunday and I said, can I cover a certain game? Can I call a certain game with you on October 3rd? And, you know, there's some tests coming up for Gerard. They have one this week that I get to call against Garaway, 2 undefeated teams. They have another one coming up against South Range. They have another one coming up against Poland the week after South Range. There's a lot of tests coming up that will show what this team has even more. But AJ Pearson's been very, very impressive through the first 4 games of the season. I mean, he threw 13 pass attempts on Friday and completed all 13 for, I believe, like 378 yards or something like that. Like that number, the yardage number might be wrong. He totaled almost 400 or maybe 450 yards between the ground game and passing. And he played one drive in the second half and they scored a touchdown on that drive. But one thing I do want to say about this Gerard team is it's not just AJ Pearson. This team can do it all. I mean, if you go back and you watch the film of that game, a lot of those long touchdown runs were little screen passes out into the flat where blocking was executed perfectly to spring the receiver and run for a long gain. Holes are opened up for the running backs. AJ Pearson can use his leg on those little QB draws up the middle. They have the line in front of him. And so it's really a team effort, and AJ Pearson is the one benefiting from the stats and, you know, the recognition here early on. But that team is loaded with athletes on the outside that are really doing their jobs and filling their roles. And I think that's the biggest thing to take away from Gerard's start so far this year.
Greg, this is starting to feel a lot like 2017 when Mark Wade led the Gerard Indians to the state championship, correct? So
I believe so.
You look at this, and that was a quarterback-led team, and mm-hmm. Mark got a lot of recognition, a lot of roses for that. But you kind of stole my thunder here with the question: Are there other pieces? Does this actually feel stronger as a team, a unit, and multiple aspects? Same Coach Pearson, obviously at the helm. Do you think this team can be incredibly dangerous when it comes to, and I know we're in week 5, but down the road, 6-7 weeks, could this be the team that everybody's looking at as the potential horse to get us back to Canton?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned 5 teams earlier in the show. Girard is one of them, and it's because like this team is so tight knit. It's when I went out to write that story on AJ Pearson earlier in the season, I think after their week 1 victory, I was talking to Pat, and he said, AJ Pearson has been around this program since Pat took over. He's been a water boy. He's been in the locker room. He's been in the weight room. He's been on the sidelines on Friday nights as a little kid, seeing the reaction from the crowd and everything like that. And you have a lot of the kids on this team that kind of did the same thing with AJ. They've been water boys. They've been around the program for a long time. And you have, when I talked to AJ, I was like, what was, like your first pass attempt of the season, you throw for a touchdown. He's like, I think it was Joey Algiers was the one that caught it. He's like, that's one of my best friends right there. I've known him since I was a little kid. We've come up through the program together, all this stuff. And then their big lineman across the line, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's another one. I mean, he's a big bruiser, but he's grown up with AJ. They've all grown up together. So you have this tight-knit group of guys that really are just kind of playing for one another. And I think that's what state championship teams are made of, is that tight-knit group, that culture that they know they have to live up to a standard. And when you have a guy like Pat Pearson, leading a team like that, he knows how to get his guys ready, and he'll have them ready each week. And, I think these next 3 weeks are going to be pretty big tests for him, and it will show them what they're made of moving forward.
Thanks to Derp for correcting me. 2018, not 2017. They kind of all rolled together at that stage.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of YSN. That was bumpy road. A lot of window time there.
One team I want to talk about before Overreaction Monday is over is the team that got their first win. It was a big program victory, a conference win against a team that has had their number for a long, long time. Camel getting the win over Lowville. Mm-hmm. What kind of statement does that make, do you think, for this Camel program? Like I said, Lowville has had not just Camel's number, but that conference's number for a while. So getting the monkey off their back a little bit and getting a win over the Rockets, what does that do?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I picked Louisville on Thursday. So to see Camel come out and get a victory. What'd you say, DJ?
Same. I did too.
All right.
I wore this Josh Allen shirt for you, man.
Hey, I was going to get to that. I noticed. I was going to get to that. But as far as Camel goes, I mean, a big win that's a statement for them. I mean, that's a big win. That Louisville's a team, like you said, Anthony, that has controlled that conference for a long time with guys like Vinny Ballone and Brady Banofsky and guys like that. And so for Camel to get a win over a team like that, that's big. I mean, obviously, Drew McLaughlin's leading the Rockets team, so it's not the same team as they were, but a win like that on a Friday night conference victory to open up conference play, that's big. That's a big statement win for them.
When you look at the Ridge versus Jackson Milton game, and Uncle Andy dominated a little bit, what does that win say to you for Ridge, and what does it say to you about the loss for Jackson Milton as they go up against McDonald this week? So the meat grinder continues. Ridge will get Waterloo, which we're being told is going to happen.
Okay.
So that's big news. That's big news because that means Ridge does not have to look for another opponent. They don't have. I mean, they're going to get one, and Waterloo's going to give their best shot. It's one of those situations. They're not going to go down like we thought they would. This is as much as critical as I was, I will give them applause. Hey, way to come back. But I will say this, that game that happened on Friday night, Ridge and Jackson Milton, does this start to create the path for those two teams one way or the other?
Well, I mean, Jackson Milton's a team that started off the season undefeated, and they kind of got, they kind of got their teeth kicked in. And I think, it's seasons are filled with ups and downs. They can be filled with roller coasters sometimes. I don't think it's a type of game that completely derails the season for the Blue Jays. It's not like they're going to fall off a cliff after, a 3-1 start or anything like that. But I will say this, Mr. Hake has a saying for the Mineral Ridge Rams, and that's, run the damn ball. And boy, do they ever run the damn ball. I mean, that's a team that will beat on you until you're exhausted, and then they'll continue to just keep running the ball down your throat. And that's what they did. I went back and watched the game on Saturday, And, correct me if I'm wrong, DJ, but they have something called a gorilla formation with a quarterback, two fullbacks, and a running back. And when you're able to set up like that and run the ball when the other team knows it's coming, that's impressive. And, it broke off a couple big runs. I think Preston Holbrook who was playing with a cast on his hand, which is impressive as a running back. You only see that on the defensive side sometimes, but he was carrying the ball with a cast in his hand. He has a couple big runs, a couple touchdowns out of that formation, and it just opens up holes. And a big statement win for Ridge. And, if they're able to do that week in and week out, it's going to be a good run. I think they play McDonald again last week of the season, and that's going to be big on big. And I can't wait to see that matchup.
I'm excited as well. Anthony, you got anything left?
McDonald Ridge is a huge rivalry too, so there's going to be a lot of emotions on the line. I think when I interviewed Landon Bingham earlier this year, and I asked him what game he's circling, and he said with not even a second into his McDonald.
Yeah.
So they're looking forward to that game, even though it's in week 10. They have that one circled a couple of times, so that one will be a very interesting way that goes.
Yeah, I do. So I got to shout out to Josh Allinger for sure. First of all, it's a great addition. I love it. Anthony, how are you feeling?
Oh boy,
okay. We're okay.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't
really.
I don't know if shots were fired at the beginning of the show or anything like that.
I didn't catch these praise this week. I'm like, look, if you follow the Chiefs last 6 years, they've had moments in the regular season where they haven't looked great. So I'm not hitting the panic button. So
they've never been 0-2.
They've never been 0-2, but they've had parts of their season where they're like, oh, this isn't a team that can win the Super Bowl. And they figured out, and they have good leadership in that locker room, and I believe that they'll figure it out. So we're not hitting the panic button yet. We're fine.
Great leadership in that locker room, throwing helmets around. That's what we're doing.
We're fine.
That's what the Browns fans have been saying. We're fine.
The Browns lost 41-17. We lost by 3.
Does it count for any less?
No,
loss?
but it's a little bit more. Hey, we're right there, and then oh my gosh, we just got absolutely dominated. I just feel like it feels a little bit better to be like, hey, we're one play away from probably winning that game. We're like 17 plays away from winning that game. There's a difference. There's a difference.
As a Bills fan, I just got to throw my shots.
I know. Keep throwing. Keep throwing.
And if you're not sleeping real well at night, we can get that fixed because Sleepy Hollow Sleep Shop, official sponsor of YSN, they'll make you sleep better right now, pal. So there you go. I didn't even see the Steelers game. I didn't even care. I was just checked out for the day. I was like, I'm not doing this. We jumped in the pool. It was freezing cold. But we put a pool in, and I said, hey, we're going to use it. Actually, Mama Yoakley said we're going to use it. So we were in.
There you go.
There's a whole bunch of that.
Yeah.
But Greg, we appreciate you. I know you were in Pittsburgh yesterday. And
I was.
And naturally,
I was outside Acrisure Stadium, and vibes were very low. I work on the corner down there selling jerseys and T-shirts and stuff like that. I know. I clarified. I clarified. I know what I was doing there, and we listened to the game on the radio outside the stadium, obviously. And when you're outside the stadium that close, you can hear the roar of the crowd before the play happens over the radio, so you know when something's going to happen. And nothing happens before that Caleb Johnson play. I will say that. Nothing was, and the vibes were low on the walkout.
I understand there were some Tomlin chants.
I didn't hear those, but it was. I worked down there with some Steelers fans, and they were like, "What are we doing? Like, what is going on here?" And so I didn't have anything to complain about. My quarterback was playing through a possible broken nose, so that was cool.
I saw that. I was like, wow. It's so hard to break your nose in football. And it's like, how does that happen?
Yeah, Roethlisberger did it. Yeah. Kept on going, baby.
Same Josh Allen did too.
Burrow might be out for a while.
Burrow's out for 3 months, I heard.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's what I heard. He's got to get surgery.
I saw a post. It made me laugh, and we'll let you go because I know you're busy. But it said there's X amount of obese people in the United States of America, and Cincinnati Bengals can't find 5 of them to protect their franchise quarterback. It was mean, but it made me laugh hard. I was sitting there like, well,
that's a funny one. That is
That's
a good one.
Greg, we can't thank you enough. I know that you were. Do you want to tell people what you're writing about? You told me. I don't want to spoil it.
So
if you want to be surprised.
so I'll give a little bit. I'll give a little teaser. Because so I'm not sure if it will be this week or if it will be next week. It's definitely, I think, something in the next 2 weeks. But I'm just kind of highlighting. We got a lot of young quarterback talent in the area throughout the valley. It seems like we have a lot of sophomore and junior quarterbacks. We talked about AJ Pearson. We haven't mentioned Nick Toy from South Range. He's been solid. Clark Rutledge down in East Palestine, huge win over Lisbon this week. So there's a lot of young quarterbacks in the area that I kind of want to get around to highlighting. So I'm going to have a little bit of not a series, but a story just kind of highlighting what it means. I mean, to have these type of quarterbacks. I mean, I think a couple years ago, we had a nice little quarterback class in the area with like Brock Lowry and Drew DeShields and
Billy
a couple
Skirpak.
of Billy Skirpak. These names kind of just slip from my mind sometimes.
Oh, I get it. You're a
but
world traveler.
But I think as high school football fans in the Mahoning Valley, you got to be excited for the next couple of years because these are guys that are going to be around for at least 2 years. I mean, the kid over at Fitch, Colin Kelleher, correct me if that's Kelleher. He's a junior, so he'll be around at least for next year. And then we got a couple talented sophomore quarterbacks that I want to get around to talking to and their coaches and see what's contributing to this influx of quarterback talent in the area.
It's good stuff, man. Just great stuff. Yeah. We appreciate all that you do, both on Overreaction Mondays throughout the week, on Fridays, especially we can hear your voice. We love hearing that. Boy,
the button was pushed in this morning. So
when you hit that button, it was like, hey, it's game time all over again. The fourth quarter. Let's go.
So it was funny. I mean, I went back and did a little like highlight clip of the game, and I went through and listened to that point, and I'm like, I'm an idiot.
It happens.
We've all done something that makes us feel that way. Trust me.
I just feel bad for the fans. I was just in the distant. And Logan was doing his thing and he was providing the energy and everything like that. And I was just like a little guy that was kind of in the corner of the press box, like not really talking very loudly.
Did you understand when I was texting you on my way back to athletics? And no. I don't think you understood like why nobody told you up to that point.
Yeah, because like you could hear me throughout the game, but it was just like it was very, very low. Like it sounded like I was
talking through his mic.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was going to describe it. And because like when we were testing the audio at the beginning of the game just to make sure everything was set, and I thought I was good, and like Logan could hear me, and that was kind of the most important aspect of so that we can kind of talk back and forth. And I didn't even realize that the button was pushed in. I don't know what happened because early. Like before the game started, there was another button that was pushed in where we couldn't hear each other, and it was the mute button. And so the mute button got pushed down somehow. I'm assuming like when it was in the bag or something like that. And then so we figured that out, and I thought I was good. And then, we know how it all ended up.
It's like when the airplane stewardesses tell you that or the captain of an airplane, your baggage may have become ajar upon whatever. Shifted. Well, that's what happens to those stupid boxes.
Yeah, well, my audio was like cranked all the way up, so because when you were we were texting back and forth during the game, and I cranked my audio all the way up, and when I hit the button the first time, I talked into it. I was like, oh, and so I cranked everything back down a little bit and got it all figured out. So I hope you enjoyed the 15 minutes of my full voice.
You're a legend, dude. You did great. We're excited for that story, whether it's this week, next week. I know there's a lot of people waiting for that because boy, oh boy. Talent is at large here at the youth level. So we're excited for that. Greg McAfee, thank you so much. You're a legend, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There he goes. Greg McAfee. Oh, he's going to hate that. I cut him off. Wait.
I think you got it.
Go ahead.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
There he goes. Now he's out. Greg McAfee joining us every Monday here for Overreaction Monday on YSN Live. Thanks to GMAC. Boy, I don't know how he does it. He must have some like in Avengers, they had like the time stone, right? He's able to do all this stuff. Like I think you and I get a lot done. There's like they don't realize how late we're up on Saturday morning, getting all this, all those stories. But like GMAC does all these. He does highlights.
Yep.
He's able to watch film. He is an absolute freak when it comes to this stuff. I don't know how he does it. I applaud him because it's incredible. He keeps. I mean, the stats he's able to remember. 99% of the time he's a specimen for sure. So he's a weapon for us, no doubt about it. So we're grateful and cannot thank him enough for joining our team. Vince Tatey, weapon. I mean, did you read the camel story?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Like, this is Pulitzer Prize winning stuff we have going on here.
We're
and
on offense at YSN, guys. We're officially on offense. We have weapons. We're going. We're getting aggressive.
I've never been on offense, so I'm sitting there like, oh, this is neat. Like, we can score. Cool. And then, of course, you have the commenters. Not like Derp. Not like that young man. Because I'll tell you what, Derp is a supporter. He's a lover.
Yes.
We know he loves Gerard. There's no doubt about that. But I think he's got a deeper appreciation now for YSN, more than just Gerard, which is kind of neat. And I think he appreciates the talent that we have in this area, as do all these fans. Because, dude, I got to tell you, sometimes it's tough. And I think I've talked to you about it. It's tough with the criticism side. But anything you do that's worthwhile, you're going to get criticism. You're going to get critics in anything, which I'm cool with. Sometimes they cross the line. Sometimes right over.
You got and then you gotta show them what's up.
That may or may not happen in the message section on YSN this past weekend. But I will tell you that we did do something, and this is something that I wasn't sure I wanted to talk about. If I wanted to keep it internal, I'm sure Chris Sigler and Steve are probably sitting like, "Oh gosh, here he goes again." But we talk a lot about mental health of people and of athletes and student athletes and teams and coaches. It happens with us too, right? And I had a really, really good conversation with a couple of people, and they said, "Hey, you guys have to take care of yourselves." We're 24/7 in what we do, because from the second my feet touch the floor, which is a long drop from my bed for all you short joke people out there, to the second that I put my head down, usually early the next morning, it's go, right? And that's what business is in America. That's what small business is. That's what we've been able to do for the last 9 years. But something's got to change, because at the end of the day, like, you need to enjoy time with your family, with the people you love. You need a break as much as I do. And everybody. So I have decided, I will take the heat for this one, that we're not going to post stories without or games or anything like that on Sundays. We're going to keep Sundays sacred as much as we possibly can. Now, there may be special circumstances throughout, the future that may dictate we have to work on a Sunday. Why is this important? Because it's important to look after my team as well, my mental health, my people that are out there, our people, our team. I guess I just didn't notice it because I'm so entrenched in it, right? And then all of a sudden, it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you. The walls come crumbling down a little bit after 4 weeks of the high school football season with little to no break in the summer. That was usually okay, we're going to take a breather, and there's just no breathers anymore. You go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and then it's massive football, volleyball, tennis, everything. So if you're looking for stuff on Sunday and you're not finding the stuff on Sunday on our website, wait till Monday. I guess that's the best way to say it, because Ant, I know you need a break. You've been just absolutely hammering the boards, bopping the wood. For our team, and guys like Chris Sigler as well. Steve Leslie's going through some stuff. This isn't something that we're taking a step back. This is, I think, a win for us, because we're going to be able to be better because we're recharged, reinvigorated, and ready to go on Monday. So this isn't like, hey, we're shutting the paper down and you're not going to get your news. Like, let's be honest, there's not a ton that happens on Saturday night in our stuff anyway. Now,
the EY
that could change. Yeah, the EOYFL stuff right now. But even then, I let them know, hey, you're not going to have your stories until Monday. That's fine. Whatever. Like, they're so happy, and it's such a great partnership that we have with them. Yeah, they're fine. But some of you, like, I'm not going to say you people. I'm going to say some people out there need to just jump in the ice tub somewhere and chill out, because, like, we're talking like a couple yards of stats are off, and they're coming at us with pitchforks.
Or it didn't quite sound like that person was well represented. The sentence wasn't structured perfectly.
Relax. Like, we're not saying we're not playing victims here. We're not victims. We're victors. We've talked about that before.
Right.
But we're also, hey, we're human. Relax. The reality is, we have you and I are writing the majority of the stories at what?
We got
11, 12.
We had 24 football stories go up this week, and we did them like we get home at midnight from the scoreboard show on a good night, if we're not, getting caught up BSing a little bit. And we get them up before Saturday morning. Like, there's almost none that need cleaned up after Saturday. So all that, it's me and you, 24 stories. And then Sam does his 5 or 6 Ashley Beulah. So me and you do, 19 stories pretty much on average from midnight to 4 a.m. on a Friday night / Saturday morning.
And we're not asking.
And then we get up in the
pats on
morning
back.
for volleyball. So, or whatever you're doing Saturday morning. Your Z has games.
Z's got games.
It's not for the faint of heart,
It was. I mean, sometimes it's just tougher to take, and like I tried not to be oversensitive about it, but like you get to a point, you're like, all right, enough.
Yeah,
Enough.
that's why, like, peek behind the curtain. My shutdown time is Saturday late afternoon night. Like, I'm like done, because that's a long night / morning, Friday to Saturday. So like Saturday after 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and the thing that people don't realize, like, Anthony, you would never ask for, hey, it's a lot. Like, you've
Right.
never said that to me, and I can appreciate that. This isn't coming from you, but there's situations where, people are like, oh, you guys are built different. You're built. Yeah, we are, but we're also human. So there's a point in time where you're like, okay, just step it back a little bit, just roll her back, and realize what's important. Our job, we say it all the time, is the craziest job in the world. The fact that we're able to do this is the most wonderful thing I can ever imagine in a professional manner, right? To say that we get to cover sports from the time kids start playing till the time kids end their high school careers and go on to college and then go on to the semi-pro baseball. I mean, there's nothing better in my world of professional. It's a dream come true. However, as we grow, there's going to be those situations where, and we've seen it, there's finger pointing, there's you didn't get us, and we've tried to make every attempt. But the reality, we have 70-some people that work in the fall for YSN. That is a lot of people. Ask any business owner, anybody that works, that started at YSN, and it was like 4 of us, right? 70+ people are employed and will get a paycheck from YSN this fall. Mm-hmm. There's not much more that we can do. We have contracts. We're giving money to the conferences on our behalf, right? For the copyrights, for the royalties, to be able to broadcast these games. I don't know what else we need to do. We will, we say it every day. We'll be better tomorrow. We'll be better tomorrow. Because I do believe that. We will continue to be better tomorrow. And this is not a plea for help. This is not a plea for, hey, we need you guys to shine a spotlight on our shortcomings. No. And maybe that's what's going to happen here. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is, don't expect anything on Sundays unless it is absolutely like cannot get away from it, has to be happening.
World-stopping breaking news was about the only thing that, if
And
Yeah,
even then,
sucks.
we're like,
I can wait till Monday.
I mean, by the time we get it, most of it's on Facebook or Twitter anyway, right? So, I mean, again, what this is my version of taking America back. Like back in the olden days, and I know there's a lot of young people out there. Everything was shut down on Sundays.
Yeah,
You know, that was family day.
we're now the
And-
Chick-fil-A of sports media.
We are the Chick-fil-A, and I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
You know what? Maybe they can call us a lot worse. I mean, yeah, we could be the Dairy King. I mean, you ever going to one of them? And I'm not expecting any sponsorships anytime soon, but Dairy King is way below the Dairy Queen. Let's put it that way. So it's not the same. Not the same.
I love how
But-
the Dairy Queen in Boardman is right next to Mattress King. So it's like king and queen right next to each other. I'm always
Don't tell Gary Leininger that. He's not going to like that you're even eyeing up that Boardman Dairy Queen.
well, they're a Breyer Dairy Queen, so they sell the food. Gary only sells the ice cream. So
False.
I do.
No, you can get a chicken sandwich at Lisbon
no,
Dairy
you-
Queen.
The chicken strip basket is what I go for, and I think Gary's Dairy Queen does not have the chicken.
We're real shocked that you're going after chicken,
chicken strip basket,
chicken
at Dairy
nuggies
Queen.
and gravy.
It's good.
Do you get gravy?
No gravy, but I do eat the
course.
toast. I like the toast. The toast, the fries at Dairy Queen are good, really good.
As long as it doesn't have taste, you love it.
Exactly.
They were giving you quite.
Now, I was taking shots on.
You were
in the
getting.
Audible
I walked into that, and they were. I mean, whatever was on the menu, you didn't. Did you not eat on Friday?
No, I eat my cheese pizza. No, I eat what I eat, and I enjoy the food I enjoy.
What'd they try to get you? They
They,
tried to
they,
get you something.
they wanted me to eat their. They got white pizza, and
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan. So
What is it about the white pizza that you don't like? Spice?
Yeah, the spice, and like sometimes garlic is good, and then sometimes it's like a little overwhelming. And I feel like on that pizza with the garlic sauce or whatever, there's garlic in that white sauce. It's just
So you're a vampire. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the first crippled vampire you'll ever meet,
And the last, pal.
and the last.
That's all right. Hey, you be you. That's what I say. You be you.
I'll be you.
No, you don't. You're not me. You be you. Not
I be
you.
you.
I be you.
No.
No.
Wait. I'll
You
be
be
me.
you.
I'll be me. Do me. Do me.
I be I. That's enough. This show's
All the
stinks.
acronyms.
This show's bad. Breaking news: we're closed on Sundays.
Roll the spark.
The moose outside. Should have told
Should
you.
have told you. Sorry, sir. Park's closed.
Sorry, sir. Park's closed. Let's get to the Spark, brought to you by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and you can visit them on the web 24/7, 365. They're open on the web on Sundays. Technically, we are too. Just nothing new. Go to DickeyElectric.com. Also, just got a text message. It has no effect on YSN 24/7. So just
That's
you can always go there.
it's
can
always
always-
there. If you're missing us on Sunday, you can turn that on.
I also want to know that that's some promotional power there. How does this affect 24/7 on YSN? All right, well played. Didn't think that one through. We're 24/7 again, folks. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're back. Sorry,
man.
Ant, your Sundays are now back on.
Great.
What's your spark there, Ronnie?
Hey, how about Drew DeShields kicking butt at Kent State as the new quarterback? We gave him a mention earlier in this show when talking about quarterbacks of the past. It sparked my memory that he had a really good Saturday for Kent State. Now they fell a little bit short to a comeback from Buffalo, but man, did he put up a solid day. And I like what I see from the new quarterback at Kent State. They're no longer the laughing stock of college football because they brought Drew DeShields in. They put him under center. They said, let's get some talent in this Kent State football team, and they got it. And he's kicking butt for the Golden Flashes. So, Drew, proud of you, buddy. Keep rocking.
Attaboy, Drew. Mine is as it typically is nowadays. It's a parenting thing, and I will say this: it's not exactly the greatest thing that I will ever want to shine a light on, but I will tell you this: man, it takes a special kind of person to be a parent. And usually it's proud moments. We're always putting that stuff on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. Listen, there's a moment that happened right here on Saturday that I'm not incredibly proud of. And my son's probably not incredibly proud of, but what I'll tell you is I'm a better man for going through it. And I think he's a better young man for going through it. He had a little bit of a tantrum here on Saturday and before his baseball game. And what I'm going to tell you is not, hey, pat me on the back for this as a parent. It's what I think people should do, and I think it's tough nowadays. There's a fine line between backing your son or daughter and backing a coach. And I will tell you that one of the coaches saw my son acting up, said, hey, I don't like this. Go over and talk to your dad. I'm not even sure if you're going to play today. You know what? He's right. We're packing up. We're going. Because sports, after all, is a privilege, folks. And I don't know how people parent. That's how I parent. You have to behave. You have to be able to appreciate your teammates, your opponents, the officials, and especially your coaches. And if a coach says you're not going to do this, then you're not going to do it. And then you can handle it after the game. Now, what I will tell you is, boy, did Z throw a fit. And it was embarrassing. But it's one of those things that you have to commit to, understanding that the coaches have to be strong-willed human beings and set examples. We're asking for those. We're begging for those type of people to lead our children. And we can't sit there and point the finger back at them when they do it and say, no, 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 you don't tell my son what to do, or you don't tell my daughter what to do. Thank you. Thank you to those coaches that are out there that set the example, even when parents don't see what's going on, when we can't see what's going on, or we're having conversations or whatever it may be, or we're not there because we're working or what. Thank you for setting the example for the future of our country, for the future of sports in our area. We back you. We're 100% behind you. And more parents, I think, and this isn't a let's get the picket signs and no, this is support coaches that do the right thing, even when it doesn't favor your son or daughter. The end. That's a spark. That's a show. Thank you for Greg McAfee popping in for Overreaction Monday, as always. Yes, I did wear this Bills shirt for him specifically, also because Josh Allen is an absolute dog. Anthony, I'm sorry about your Chiefs, man.
It's all right. We'll be fine.
Moment of silence for the Chief.
They're not dead. Jeez.
The moment has passed. On to the next season. We will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget Giangelo's tomorrow at 7 p.m. the South Range Raiders show. Also, you can go out to Ben's for the Western Reserve show. Wednesday, we will have the Poland show. And wait, what else is Springfield's
on the
tomorrow.
Spreadsheet, you added the Middle Ridge show on Wednesday too, right?
I did. So guess what, folks?
Is that going to be the pub again? Is that the pub, or do we have a new?
We're at the pub.
Let's go.
Post office pub. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people excited about Andy Haig show. A lot of people excited. And he's going to be
come
on
with some ice cream.
I just want one of those run the damn ball hats. That's all I want. I'll wear it all the time. Check out these new hats, by the way. These YSN
I like
hats.
that. New logo, microphone. Love it.
Yeah. America. You can get them here. Just let me know. YSN. Stop by Athletics. Tell them you're here. Let us know in advance, because I'm not always here. I don't live here. I don't have a cot that's back there. I did at the old place. Like I'd sleep at the old place. We had a couch.
You kept one of the mattresses from this mattress.
No, it did not. I sold every one of those sons of guns. Proud of it. But I did have a couch and a really comfortable chair there that we know.
We remember that. Kind of sketchy couch.
Sketchy couch, but it was comfortable. Came from Akron, like new. Not so much. Not so much. So, hey, that's going to be a show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. As always, check out ysnlive.com/live for all the games and events we have scheduled for tonight. And as always, go to the scoreboard too, ysnlive.com/scores for up-to-date, literally. I mean, Swinehart is an alien for the way that he does it. I mean, he almost updates them before that happens. It's kind of wild. I don't get it all the time, but I'll take it. Thanks to Derp in the comments today. Hey, MVP Derp in the comments. Big dogs will be announced tonight. Congratulations to our winners. And then the new set of big dogs will be coming out tomorrow, along with the highlights via Ty Bartel from last week. For the 8-time best-selling author and world traveler, and now Emmy Award winner, Anthony Ronald Hartwig. My name's DJ Yokley. This has been YSN Live. We'll be better tomorrow, folks. I can promise you that. Anthony, may the sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.